last thing before we get into it. Guys, when we do get a little bit of a break, make sure you head up to the far side, trackside shop. It is literally on the far left-hand side of the field if you're facing down towards the start gate. They've got hoodies, they've got t-shirts, they've got caps. Go check it out. But we are in the starter's hands.
30-second board goes up there on the KTM start line. This first corner, quite a tight little U-turn. It's going to be very interesting. Start is very important in Enduro-X with so many tough obstacles. So they flip the board over for 5 seconds.
Eyes peeled on the starting gate. Let's see who's going to jump out. Tom Mason flew out number 61 on the KTM. He holds the inside and he will score that all-important first hole shot. Approaching this very tricky log section.
Not too far behind in second place there is Nick Tomlinson. These guys have batted it out all through their junior ranks in the Aussie off-road. Last year, Nick just skipping Tom for the Aussie title. But Tom certainly no stranger to these extreme conditions as they make their way through the Alpine Stars turn and up and over the Pirelli tyre double.
Now this year, the most technical part of the track, the box rocks. No problem whatsoever for Mason as he comes through. Starting to stretch the lead out just a little bit. Now my other co-commentator, Nikki Shea Howe, she's over from Perth and of course runs the Perth MX website over there. Make sure you check it out and have a little bit of a look. Now Nikki, you got to watch practice alongside us here. Was there anything in particular that you looked at here and thought to yourself, I don't want to be doing that?
Well, apart from my background coming from my motocross, most of the track at this point is exceptionally hard for the motocross riders. Tom Mason out in front looking the goods. And I've got to tell you, Lee and Kate, checking out that pod bog hole was absolutely fantastic. So Mason out in front, and I've got to say, Nick Tomlinson up in second place. A good little battle starting to emerge between those first two place getters.
Yeah, Tom Mason still holding down a nice little lead now, but it really is so far a KTM dominated race at the moment, holding down first, second and third placing. And a two-stroke in first place with Tom Mason back there with a couple of four-strokes in second and third. As they approach these massive, long, almost just stepping over the handlebars right there. We've seen so many crashes in front of the Ensure My Ride section. These huge sleepers really sorting out the boys from the men. Tom Mason just about to log another lap in the books. What a race this is turning out to be. Cannot put a foot wrong when you get that all-important hole shot. Tuck it up the inside. I do believe he hasn't made one mistake yet, but it is not a pressure-free race.
No, you can see second place, Nick Tomlinson now starting to make a charge in. Third place is Skip off, but Mason out in front. In second place, Nick Tomlinson doing all the hard charging as they head towards the Pirelli jump. Now into the Fox Rock section. Cade Bagsby now trackside checking out some of the action, and Cade is really starting to feel the battle for third place.
Yeah, that's right. You see Tom Mason having a look over his shoulder there, seeing how far behind him Tomlinson is. Tomlinson looks like he's closing the gap a little bit here. You see these riders starting to stretch out a bit of a gap over the rest of the field, over third and fourth place. There's certainly no stranger to being at the front, these two, and banging bars.
That's interesting. Oh, Tom Mason throws the KTM down. Just a little bit of a front wheel washout there. Didn't stall the motorcycle. And now Tomlinson's gone down. So in the period of about 10 metres, both riders have thrown down the KTMs. But it's Tom Mason that has come out on top.
That's right, Lee. That's the good thing about Enduro-X. It's so unpredictable for the fans. You can be leading 1 second, next moment you're back in 5th or 6th from one little spill. These obstacles can bring you unstuck real quick and it changes the racing up dramatically.
Well, it really is a case of how many curveballs can you throw at a rider? I mean, a track like this is such a small, compact little area. The promoters and the track groups, when they get together. So basically just go, right, how tricky can we make it for these riders? And I'm surprised we don't have electric fences up, some barbed wire. Really, that's probably the next in line to what they could be doing. But you only have to have a bit of a look around, and a lot of the people here, spectators watching, are probably riders themselves and probably get around pretty good. And most of you guys, no doubt, would be watching and just going, I'm pretty happy that I'm not out there riding this track.
Absolutely, and certainly a lot easier from the sideline. And as if these obstacles aren't difficult enough, you see all the riders in the morning walking around the track, having a bit of a look, picking out their lines, throw another half a dozen bikes in front and then try and get through and see how you go. It certainly makes it a lot more difficult as Tommy Mason now takes the last lap board. He's got a good gap back to second place, Skip Rock, but we've got a battle going on here for third as Andy Wilkes from Victoria, the young fella, just blasts his way into third, banging bars. That's the good thing about Enduro-X, there's plenty of action, plenty of bars.
Well, just a few corners to go now, less than half a lap for Tom Mason. Oh, he's made a mistake in the rock section. It could prove to be costly. He's managed to get the bike going again, but here he's managed to lose just about all of that 5 or 6 second lead that he had over our second place rider. Pressure is on now. Quite often that can force you into a little bit of a mistake. You'll be able to feel it breathing down the back of his neck. Just a couple of corners to go. Check your flag out. It looks like we've lost our second place rider just out of view. I think he may have gone down in that very slippery, wet section after the final long. But final corner coming through. What a race, what a win for Tom Mason. Sensational job there. Now second, third, fourth and fifth place riders coming through, all fairly close, just showing the level of competition here in the expert class.
That's right, Lee. They might not be at the very top of the rung in those pro classes, but these expert boys certainly know how to ride. There's no doubts about that. And we've got a lot of expert riders, 2 heats here today. It'll be very interesting to see some times, see how they go up with the pro riders. So we're really looking forward to that. And you never know, you might even see some wild cards getting thrown out there for some pro main events.
Yeah, and it's important.